So today we're going to talk about Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich chapter on desire. So he defines desire as the starting point of all achievement, the first step to riches, because we have to have a desire for something in order to get it, right? So he tells the story about Edwin Barnes, who had this desire to work with Thomas Edison. And his desire was not a hope, it was not a wish, it was a keen, pulsating desire that transcended everything for him. It was definite. This desire was not new when he approached Edison, it had been in his dominating desire for a long time. In the beginning, when the desire first appeared in his mind, it may have been, probably was, only a wish, but it was no mere wish as he appeared before Edison with it. A few years later, Edwin Barnes stood again before Edison in the same office where he first met the investor. This time, his desire had been translated into reality. He was in business with Edison. The dominating dream of his life had become a reality. People who later knew Barnes envied him because of the break that life had yielded him. They saw him in the days of his triumph without taking the trouble to investigate the cause of his success. Barnes succeeded because he chose a definite goal, placed all of his energy, all of his willpower, all of his effort, everything back of that goal. He did not become the partner of Edison the day he arrived. He was content to start the most menial work as long as it provided an opportunity to take even one step towards his cherished goal. So there's so many times where we want to just jump right to the top, and then when we don't even think like one little step is going to ever get us there. I like to think of like a staircase. So I'll always think about this when I start like focusing on like the big dream and like, why aren't I there yet? And how am I going to get there? And getting stuck in the how. But then I look at the staircase in my house and I say, okay, I want to get to the top. That's where my desire is, right? And here I am at this bottom step. Well, I'm not going to just jump. I can't. I mean, I physically can't just jump and reach that top step. There's 15 steps, but I can take the next best step. I might even be able to take the next best 3 steps at a time, but it's always that next best step and the never giving up of that next best step, never giving up, because every step is leading you in that direction when that is what you are focused on in your heart and all consuming and knowing that that is what you want. So this is, again, a remarkable illustration of the power of definite desire. Definite desire. Definite desire. All caps. Barnes won his goal because he wanted to be a business associate of Mr. Edison more than he wanted anything else. He created a plan by which to attain that purpose. But he burned all ships behind him. He stood by his desire until that became the dominating obsession in his life and finally a fact. This burning all ships means that you leave no possibility of retreat. It's not like, well, I'm going to try. It's like, no, I'm going to be the partner and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be persistent, consistent, tenacious. I'm not going to stop. What happens when you burn all ships? There's nowhere to retreat. You have to keep going. So I love that concept of like being all in, burning all ships behind you. So there's no way to say, well, I tried and it didn't work. Those who would win in any undertaking must be willing to burn their ships and cut all sources of retreat. Only by doing so can one be sure of maintaining that state of mind, knowing as a burning desire to win, essential to success. In our card collection for this part of the book, there are going to be 6. And these are what Hill calls every individual who reaches the age of understanding the purpose of money wishes for it. Wishing will not bring riches, but desiring riches with a state of mind that becomes an obsession, then planning definitive ways and means to acquire riches, and backing those plans with persistence, which does not recognize failure, will bring riches. The method by which desire for riches can be transmuted into its financial equivalent consists of 6 definitive practical actions. Okay, so here they are. And these 6 are going to be on the cards that you are going to print out, and either print them out on hard cardstock if you can, take them to Staples or your home printer if you have that paper, or you can print them out and then glue them on to an index card because they are the size of a standard index card. So here are your 6 practical actions. Number 1, first, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. It's not sufficient to say, I want plenty of money, but be definitive as to the amount. There are psychological reasons for definitiveness that will be described in a subsequent chapter. Number 2, second, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. There is no reality as something for nothing. So this is a really important one because you don't actually want the money. You don't want that green piece of paper. You want it because of what you can do with it. Be really specific about what you intend to give in return for the money. Third, number 3, establish a definitive date when you intend to possess the money you desire. This is really important. Pick a date. 4, create a definitive plan for carrying out your desire. Begin at once, whether you're ready or not, and put this plan into action. Okay, here's the thing. You're never going to think you're ready. Never. So put the plan into action, no matter what you think. Number 5, write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition. State what you intend to give in return for the money, and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate it. And number 6, read your statement aloud twice daily, once just before retiring at night and once after arising in the morning. And as you read it, see it, and feel it, and believe yourself already in possession of the money. So doing all of this, print these out and do this. And then just watch what happens. This is announcing and declaring to the universe. The universe always says yes. And I know that you have proof of that, because whatever you're thinking about and ruminating on, and you're actually bringing into existence. And lots of times it's the rumination that we're having about the things we don't want, and we keep on getting them. And we're like, why do I keep getting the things I don't want? Because you're thinking about them. So these 6 things help you think about the things that you do want. And then you're announcing and declaring to the universe. And this number 6 over here, you're acting as if. So act as if this is already done. Period. End of story. It's done. You don't see it with your eyeballs right now, but it is done. If you truly desire money so keenly that your desire is an obsession, you'll have no difficulty in convincing yourself that you will acquire it. The object is to want money and to become so determined to have it that you convince yourself you will have it. Okay? There's none of this wishy-washy stuff. You will have it. You will have it. Okay? Do all of these steps. Know why you want it. What are you giving in return? Like, you are giving something in return. It's just an exchange of energy. So what are you giving in return? Get really crystal clear, print out your cards, and have fun with this. All right. So this is it for our chapter here. Let me just conclude with one more thing. The steps call for no hard labor. They call for no sacrifice. They do not require one to become ridiculous or unthinking. To apply them calls for no great amount of education, but the successful completion of these 6 actions does call for sufficient imagination because we're going to talk about that word a lot. It calls for sufficient imagination to enable one to see, to understand, and that the accumulation of money cannot be left to chance, good fortune, and luck. If you do not see riches in your imagination, you will never see them in your bank account. If the thing you wish to do is right and you believe in it, go ahead and do it. Put your dream across and never mind what they say. If you meet with temporary defeat, or they perhaps do not know, every failure brings with it a seed of equivalent success. This is really, really important. Every failure brings with it a seed of an equivalent success. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. So we can stop focusing on failure and know that it's part of the process. And here's another quote that I really love that he says in this paragraph. The greatest achievement was at first and for a time a dream. The oak sleeps in the acorn, the bird waits in the egg, and in the highest version of the soul, a waking angel stirs. Dreams are the seedlings of reality. I love that. That's so beautiful. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm also going to put it across the screen. The greatest achievement was at first and for a time a dream. The oak sleeps in the acorn, the bird waits in the egg, and the highest vision of the soul, a wakening angel stirs. Dreams are the seedlings of realities. That is really beautiful. Remember, no more effort is required to aim high in life, to demand abundance and prosperity than is required to accept misery and poverty. Same amount of effort. So where are you putting your effort? Desire backed by faith knows no such word as impossible. Oh, that's another great one. Desire backed by faith knows no such word as impossible. Wow. Every adversary brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. Nothing is impossible to the person who backs desire with enduring faith. And so here we'll end the chapter with, no matter what may be its nature or its purpose, must begin with an intense, burning desire for something definitive. Through some strange and powerful principle of mental chemistry, nature wraps up in the impulse of strong desire that something which recognizes no such words as impossible and accepts no such reality as failure. Faith is a state of mind which may be induced by autosuggestion. And faith we'll get to in a different chapter. We've just went through the important parts of the chapter on desire. You're going to print out your cards. You're going to do those steps, and you're going to wait and watch the magic. Ciao for now, and I'll see you in the next video on our Think and Grow Rich series.